Chloe, what's poppin'?
What's poppin'?
I am so excited to see you. I feel like last time I saw you, we were at the daytime stage.
Isn't that crazy?
At our iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Yes.
We talked on Zoom.
We did.
How is everything?
Everything is great.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's exciting. I have so many great things happening, and I couldn't be more grateful.
Tell me that feeling that you're feeling right now.
It's a feeling I can't describe.
Please
to be honest,
try.
it's like when a balloon is like filling up with helium,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost right before that time is about to burst. That's how I feel.
It's interesting for someone.
With excitement.
Excitement. For someone that's never going to feel this feeling, like the album is out.
My first.
That has to feel really good.
It does. It's scary.
Why?
Because people will see me and hear me and all that I am, and there's no more hiding it.
Were you constantly tweaking up into the very end?
Oh, absolutely. I was just tweaking the empty space last night in between songs. I was like, no, it needs to be a second shorter.
Can you not just let go?
I have let go as of this morning.
Is that hard to do?
No, because now I'm creating something else.
So once you're done with what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
are you moved on to something else?
Like, am I done?
Like once you're like the album's out,
Mm-hmm.
once it's out, now you're moving on. Are you like on to the next?
Yes, I'm a creative.
Uh-huh.
We can never stop creating. And I have a lot of life to talk about. And even as I'm going to be on the road, I'm going to be creating on the road as well. So.
Do you ever get scared to talk about life?
Oh, no.
No.
I'm an open book. I feel like a lot of us, it's so easy for us to show the grand things of our lives, but it's harder to talk about the real things. And I think it should be just as equal.
How do you feel? Why do you feel like it's harder?
Because people never want to show their flaws. And we're taught as a society that showing flaws is weakness when it's really not.
How do we break that though?
By doing what the both of us are doing right now, speaking about it.
I feel like it would be the hardest thing to like sit here and look in that camera and talk
Which
about
one?
like both of these and talk about like my flaws. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
For me, I don't know. I think because they're low key insecurities and you don't want to like broadcast your insecurities out there. For me.
But why is that? Do you feel like when people know your insecurities, they look at you as weak?
I feel like that they have one up on me.
But doesn't it make you feel better knowing that the person you feel who has one up on you also is feeling the same way you're feeling, just about something maybe a little bit different?
I didn't think about it like that.
Exactly.
But also, they're feeling it about something else and not necessarily
Something else about themselves. None of us will feel the same thing about ourselves because we're made different.
Do you feel like that is a form of therapy just to like get it all out?
Absolutely. It's healing in itself to talk about it, because when you face the reality that nothing is perfect because it's not meant to be, you release some of that pressure off yourself.
That's interesting. How long did this album take?
3 years.
3 years.
And it was like 3 different projects from top to bottom.
Tell me about them.
The first version of this project, it was very, 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 very experimental.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad and depressing. And it was different. And, when I was working on the first part of this body of work, it was just me in my bedroom and my computer and my mic and my feelings. So it felt really raw and honest. The second version of it was after I created Have Mercy, and I was finding a newfound confidence. And that's where the music began to stem from, a place of confidence. Talking on the lyrics, things of that nature. And then where it finally ended up was a blend of both, where I'm honest and vulnerable about how I'm feeling in my low points. But then there's also a moment where I'm like, I remember who I am. And you're going to remember too. And the times you told me I couldn't do something, I'm doing it. So what are you going to say now? And that's where this project ended up. It's a blend of both of those sides of me.
How did you find the confidence?
To find the confidence to do what?
Like you were saying that you found the confidence for the second part of the album.
Because that was a time when Have Mercy was doing really good.
Mhm.
And I've realized that sometimes I put a lot of my validation within my work because something I've always wanted to do all my life was succeeding. It gave me a false sense of pride. So that's where I found that confidence to write from.
A false sense of pride. How?
Because I think where real happiness is, it comes from internal, and it shouldn't be based off of things that are happening outside of yourself, whether it's people, situations, work.
I think it's really interesting because I feel like with this business, you can get caught up in people telling you you're great, you're great, you're great, you're great, you're great. And then you honestly start to believe how great you are. And then when it all falls out, you're left with that.
Just like
other people's validation.
Yeah, just like when people are constantly telling you, you suck, you suck, you suck, you suck, you start to believe it. So it goes for both sides. So you just really have to learn how to tune out the noise, period, because it could either hurt you. It hurts you in both ways, but it could either break you down or raise you up. So you really have to rely on yourself for that. And that's what I'm learning actively, currently. You know, I don't have it all figured out at all.
But you know what's interesting? You are the type of person, and when I talked to you both times before, you just exude confidence. Like, do people tell you that? Like, I get this really confidence.
They do tell me that, but that's why I feel it's just as important to tell people I'm not confident, you know? So where I find my confidence, I have to like pray. I have to like pump myself up. And that's honest and real. So the girls and the guys who are looking at me like, I want to be confident like Chloe. They don't know what they're really saying. They're just seeing the outer shell of Chloe at her job.
Yeah.
And that's why I wrote In Pieces, because you see this front-facing version and you don't know what's really happening behind closed doors. And in actuality, I'm broken down and sad. And the reason why I did the red hair for the In Pieces cover, I performed at AMAs for Have Mercy. And, you know, I like experimenting with my different color of locks and everything. And I had the red locks for about a month.
Right.
And that was the shortest time I've had any color in my hair. And the reason was it was such a low point in my life. And I didn't want to bring that color back to remind me of where I was in that moment. So front facing, I seem like, you know, I finally have a platinum song. It's doing great. I'm on award shows performing it. And inside, like, I'm crumbling, needing my support system, my godmom, my sister to lift me up through out of that. And that's who In Pieces are for. It's for the people who are so well at wearing a mask and their armor, and you don't know what they're going through behind closed doors.
Do you feel like people would be surprised to know that about you? To hear that? Like how I just said, you exude confidence, but deep down inside, you may be sad, you may be going through something. You know what I mean?
I would hope they wouldn't be surprised because I'm a human being.
I get that.
But if they are, I'm happy they know now it's not the case.
Do you meditate?
I do, and I pray a lot.
Me too. Every night before I go to bed.
That's really good.
I need to shoot up some prayers to make sure that the next day
is okay.
Right.
Because sometimes we just got to relinquish control.
And I think it's hard to relinquish control when you are a creative.
Yes. I don't know if it's the Virgo rising in me, but I'm just like trying to make everything perfect.
Well, you're a water sign, aren't you?
I am a water sign.
Cancer?
Yeah.
That's right.
What are you?
Pisces.
Oh, yes. We talked about this. Exactly. My godmom's a Pisces.
Right. And I remember you were telling me how you go to your godmom whenever you need to, like, not necessarily be set straight, but like whenever you just need someone to be like, all right, you're doing, like, not you're doing great, sweetie, but just when you need that reset.
Yeah.
Is that still the case?
Yes.
Because I feel like water signs are very intuitive.
Yeah.
Which I think helps in this business.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
That's true. That's true.
Because I feel like we just have that sixth sense that we know that, all right, this may be some BS right here.
I feel like all of us have that within us, whether we're a water sign or not, to be honest. I just feel like we're not listening to the inner voice.
Why do you think that's the case, though?
Because there's so much loud noise from the world telling us how we should be. This is how we should look. So if we're too busy listening to that, of course it's going to be hard to listen to this. And that was around the time when I got a creative block for the record, when I was too busy like putting my ear to like what I think people want to hear from me
Mm-hmm.
and not about what I want to create and what I hear from myself. And once I let that go, the music started forming properly.
How frustrating is a creative block?
Very. But in that time, that's when you just got to live life because you can't put a timer on when it'll be over. And a lot of times that just means we got to be refueled
Mm-hmm.
with inspiration. And that comes from life experiences.
So what do? You get up, you have to write a song, or maybe
Mhm.
you have to sing a song.
Mm-hmm.
You're not feeling it that day. How do you get past that?
Well, if I can be completely honest,
Mm-hmm.
I love what I do. So no matter how tired I am, there's never a moment where I'm like, I'm not feeling it that day.
Really?
When it comes to performing and creating music, yeah, I'll drink an energy drink and I'm set. I will be in the studio from 3 p.m. all the way till 10 a.m. the next day.
And are you constantly just like, what are you doing in that
I'm working.
period?
I'm
Writing
creating,
songs, singing.
eating, and creating.
Is that what gets the creative juices flowing? Eating?
Sometimes. And sometimes when I was on raw juice cleanses, I created good music too. That's surprisingly, when I did that, I had a lot of inspiration for backgrounds and harmonies.
What would you go to creation, get you a raw juice and
Well, it was around the time when, for aesthetic reasons,
Mhm.
I wanted to be a little more snatched, you know?
Yes.
So
I
would
get
do,
it.
and sometimes I would do a juice cleanse during the moment where it was the busiest 3 days. And I was like, dumb ass. You need
Right.
the fuel, you need the calories.
Mhm.
So now when I do, juice cleanses, I'll just make sure I'm eating raw food and fruits and veggies.
Yeah, because you can't be up on stage
Thank you.
without calories. We don't need you passing
Tell
out
that
on
to
the floor.
Chloe a year ago.
We don't need you
because
passing out.
after I did my first juice cleanse for 3 days and I saw how snatched I got, you couldn't tell me anything. No. Dumb.
I feel like I always want to do a juice cleanse, but I don't have it in me to actually be disciplined to
well,
do
do
said
your
juice.
own type of cleanse. You know,
What are the
make it for you.
requirements?
Whatever you want it to be.
Like cleansing, it doesn't necessarily just have to be juice. It can be
No,
like
it could be like, say, I'm doing a cleanse of red meat. You eat everything but red meat, or I'm doing a cleanse of no carbs. Now, I can't do that because I love carbs.
I love a potato.
But there's been some times where I'll be like, I'm doing a cleanse of no bread for 2 weeks. I haven't done
Mhm.
that in a minute because it's my kryptonite. But it does. But it
Listen, we
varies.
right here. I get
It
you.
varies.
Right.
It's really all up to what you make it. To be honest, I can't be the one to tell you what type of cleanse to do.
Can I just say that it is a flex, the fact that you are able to act and sing at the same time?
You think so?
Absolutely.
Well, I feel like with performing, you're almost acting. You're
Mhm.
expressing yourself, your body, you're using all your movements.
But I think the remembering lines, hitting your mark, knowing what camera you're supposed to look in.
Think about it. Remembering lines equates to remembering your lyrics.
Mm.
Blocking equates to choreography. Looking into the camera, not looking into the camera equates to what? Blocking as well.
I feel like it's so hard. That's why I feel like I can never act because I can't remember anything. I don't
But guess
know
what?
where
Guess
I'm
what?
looking.
Let me tell you.
Tell
this
me.
is what I've kind of had a breakthrough moment with acting because I was always like, man, music's my number one. That's where I know I shine. Acting, I'm like, But when I had an acting coach tell me on the Zoom, she told me to remove the mask. She was like, that's not who I want to see. Shout out to her. I haven't spoken to her in a year. But during the pandemic, she was like, that's not who people want to see. We want to see the moments where you are unsure. Don't look away from your scene partner when you're uncomfortable. That's what we want to see. So when I realized that I could be my flawed self on the camera, which I'm not used to being when it comes to performing,
Mm-hmm.
that's when it opened up for me. And I really started enjoying it.
I feel like because you're acting, that you can play like a different person. Like you're not necessarily showing yourself. You know what I'm
But
saying?
I feel like, and maybe this is just for me,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm grateful that the roles that I have gotten, there's a piece of Chloe, whether no matter if it's 5%, 50%, there's a piece of me I see within that. And it's even with that, it's art and it's also healing because feelings that you've pent up inside that you haven't dealt with, you get to act it out right there.
Past traumas.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you can go to whenever you need
Yeah.
like a good crying scene.
Mm-hmm.
You are killing it right now.
Thank you. I'm trying.
What's next for Chloe?
The sky's the limit, wherever God takes me. I just, through it all, I want to be happy, and I hope the album does well.
The album will do well because, you know, we speak things into existence.
Yes, the freak we do.
The album will do well, and you are going to continue to soar,
Thank
and it's
you.
going to be a good time. Are you having fun?
I am. Listen, people don't believe me till they see it. Work makes me so happy, and that's I don't know if it's the Virgo rising again, but I'm a workaholic, and when things are going well, I just
Do you break down when things aren't going well?
oh yeah, that's the Cancer sun.
Yes. You're not a crier, Cancer, are you?
Oh yes, I am. I
You
cry at
are?
least once or twice a day,
And what are some of the things that you feel like you're crying about?
whether I'm happy or sad. It does not matter. Happy tears, sad tears, content tears.
You just need to get that out.
Yeah.
And then after you finish crying, do you fix your crown and move about your day?
Yes, I do.
That's what I'm talking about.
You will never be able to know when I finish crying.
That's that actress in you, though.
Oh,
You pull it together and you keep it
and
moving.
scene.
Exactly. Chloe, it was a pleasure.
Thanks. This was fun. I like your questions.
Thank
You're
you
very
so
intelligent.
much. I appreciate you. Thank you.